Oktoberfesting. I'm trying to think of things that we can do, seasonally, month to month, what's happening, what's going on, what's in season. And we're coming in October, and I've got some ideas, but immediately the first thing that pops in my mind is Oktoberfest. So we are gonna make an Oktoberfest dinner. So through the magic of the internet, I've been able to make friends with people across the globe. And one of those guys is, he lives in Germany, and specifically the Bavarian region of Germany, where Oktoberfest started. So I got some feedback from him, and we are going to do a couple things. We're going to do German potato salad, and then we're going to pair that with a nice Bavarian style roast chicken. Brathendl. Brathendl? Fact check the pronunciation. It sounds right in my head. But anyway, we're doing that. And the next thing we're going to do is potato salad. German style potato salad. And it's going to be a vinegar based potato salad. We're going to parboil the potatoes, and we're going to finish them on the fire. If you don't have a fire, you can do a grill. If you don't have any of those things, you can just boil the potatoes all the way and cut them up and eat them. So, but anyway, we're going to get started with the potato salad. We got 3 pounds of Yukon Gold potatoes. And what we're going to do is, I might cut some of these bigger ones in half because most of them are this size. So they're about half the size of these bigger ones. So I'll cut these in half, but for the most part, I'm going to leave them whole. So go ahead and get these big potatoes cut down so that everything cooks. Whew! So everything cooks consistently and at the same amount of time. And then I'm going to cover them with water. We just want them covered so everything's underwater and able to cook. And we're going to turn that on, and we're going to bring it up to a boil. Once it starts boiling, then we're going to start keeping track of the time. We'll probably go about 10 minutes. While the potatoes are coming to a boil, we are going to do some prep work to get ready for the finished potato salad. So I'm going to chop up some celery. Also, we're going to add in the celery leaves. They have a lot of flavor. Like, don't waste those. Probably one of the more flavorful part of the celery plant. So use them. And in addition to that, we're going to use some green onions or scallions, whatever the heck you want to call them. I'm going to get to chopping now. Chop them up, about a little less than 1/4 of an inch thick. Just a little celery crunch, a bite. I'm a big fan of green onions. And I want these to be like decoration too. So I'm going to cut them on a diagonal or a bias or whatever you want to call it. Make them a little longer, a little fancier looking. And the celery leaves, we'll just give them a rough chop. A much overlooked ingredient from the celery stalk. Celery, what is it, the celery head? Multiple stalks. So yeah, celery head. Save those leaves and use them. Packed with flavor. Packed with flavor. All right, world's slowest boil going on here. So I got to give that a little bit more time. I'm going to grab some red onion and maybe a surprise ingredient. I'll be right back. So in addition to the celery and the green onions and all that, we're going to do some pickled red onions. If you don't have access to pickled red onions and you don't know how to make them, I'm going to link it below. I have a recipe on the site, oakenblade.com, for these very pickled red onions. They're very simple, but very delicious. And I mean, look at that color. I mean, how do you not like that? Ow! How do you not like it? Anyway, we're just gonna chop these up. All right, these potatoes have been going for about 10 minutes now. I'm gonna pull them off the heat and drain them, and then we're gonna finish them on the grill. So I've got the grill heating up right now. So we'll take them out there and finish them and char them up a little bit. See you at the fire pit. Stupid hot plate took so long, my fire started dying down, so we're gonna throw some more wood on and get it heated up again. It's not too bad, it's still pretty hot, but I want it to, I want a little more smoke. So we'll just throw some fresh maple branches on there. That's good. Get our fancy cooking rack. There we go. Could be a little hotter, but I think it's gonna be okay. Oh yeah, that's the color we're looking for. So go ahead and start getting these flipped over now. Starting to get some dark charring action on them. So oh, it smells good. Freaking grilled potatoes. I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling some of these off because they're looking mighty fine, just the way I want them. All right, we got the potatoes off the grill, and I'm just gonna set them aside and let them cool now. But man, they look great. A little smoky. And you know, they change when they're on the grill. They're just a totally different beast now, and I love it. So anyway, we'll set that aside and we'll let it cool off, and we'll go ahead and get started on the chicken then. Get that prepped. So one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to melt some butter. We're just going to melt the butter. I don't want to cook it. I don't want to get it hot, because I'm gonna rub it all over this bird. So it's really just a melting action that we're looking for. Let's turn on low. And then I went ahead and chopped up the herbs. I didn't figure anybody wanted to sit and watch me chop up herbs. So like I said, we've got fresh rosemary, fresh thyme, and about 4 cloves of garlic. So I'll just dump that right in with the butter. And we'll just make like a little massage paste that we can rub a bird with. It's very fragrant, aromatic. Okay, so we got our butter melted and our herbs and our garlic in there. It smells freaking great. So I'm gonna go ahead and zest one whole, this is a big lemon, one whole lemon, and then we're gonna add the juice of the lemon too. So we'll just go ahead and grate this up on the old zester. Just make sure that you only get the yellow outer part. You don't necessarily want the rind underneath it. That's bitter. The oils and everything you want are in the yellow part. So just, you know, run it over your zester a couple times, check it, move to the next spot. I think that's plenty. Plenty. So as you can see, you know, we have kind of a herby, buttery paste going on here. So the next thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and squeeze in some lemon juice. So catch all your seeds, let the juice run between your fingers. So now it's time to go ahead and coat this chicken. And what I want to do is I want to pull the skin up off the breast, and I want to get as much of that underneath the skin as I can. And we'll put some inside, rub it around. We're just going to try to get up under the skin as much as we possibly can. Then we'll rub some on top of the skin. So what we want to do is we want to work our finger up underneath the skin on the breast, and we want to open that up on both sides, and then kind of work your finger down around underneath the breast, and then into the thigh area down here on the sides. And we'll try to get it up under the thigh, and maybe a little bit up into the leg meat as well. So toward a little bit. Try not to tear it. I mean, it's not a huge deal, but you want to try to keep that intact as much as possible. Unfortunately, I'm out of butcher's twine, and I'm not a very prepared person, so I didn't order any. So we're not going to truss it tonight. We're just going to cook it as is, all natural. So we're just going to work that mixture up under the skin. Get some on this side of the breast. So see that there? We'll just push it up under the skin as far as we can get it. We'll just go ahead and stick it inside. Kind of rub it from the inside as well. A little bit more on the breast. They're the one that needs the most help with flavor. Chicken breast. Alright. I didn't mean to tear it. Oh well. It is what it is. Still going to make a good meal. So we'll go ahead and just rub down the rest of this on the outside. And get some on the back, the bottom. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to go ahead and take one glove off with a clean hand. And then we have some salt and pepper. And then let's start on the bottom. Go ahead and get this thing seasoned up. Just use your own discretion on how much seasoning you think it needs. So I'm gonna go kind of heavy on mine. And we'll flip it back over. And inside the wings there, just go ahead and coat the outside. Just try to get as much as you can on all the surfaces, all the way around. And that's that. So once the smoker gets up to temp, it's close. We're at 360 right now. We'll get that thrown on there. But in the meantime, we'll do one more thing. So this is the pan that we're going to cook it on, and I've laid out it's 2 leeks split down the middle. So in case you've never worked with a leek, they're going to come like this. This is the top, so we cut that off. This is the bottom where the roots are. We cut that off as well. Those are trash. We don't need them. Now with the leeks, they grow in sandy soil. So you need to, when you split them down the middle, rinse them under some water and just open up all these little sections right here and rinse all the sand and dirt out of there. Unless you like gritty food, and by all means, go ahead. But anyway, we're gonna put those on the bottom of the pan, and now we're gonna lay our chicken right on top of those. And it's gonna keep it up off the pan a little bit, let the juices kind of flow underneath it, let it get some air circulation underneath it. So that's gonna be a pretty tasty bird. I think we're ready to roast. I'm just gonna put it over here away from the heat source. So we're at 450, so you can tell we got a raging fire right there. So Anyway, we'll put her down for a nap. All right, while the chicken is on the smoker, we're gonna go ahead and finish up this potato salad. So the first thing we're gonna do is, now that these are cooled off enough where we can kind of handle them, we're gonna chop them up into like more bite size, and then we'll throw them back in the bowl. Oh man, it smells good. What we'll do is we'll just cut them into quarters, and then we'll cut them into chunks from there, about maybe half an inch or so. So cut them down the middle lengthwise, and then take each half and cut it down the middle lengthwise as well. And then turn them, and then chop them into about half-inch chunks. All right, while I'm finishing these last few potatoes, we have about 8 slices of bacon that we're gonna start rendering down. It is smelling really good in here, I'll tell you. Looking good. All right, so while that bacon's finishing up, we're gonna go ahead and add some vinegar into the potatoes and let them start soaking that up. We'll do half a cup. This is apple cider vinegar. We're gonna gently toss that around so we don't mash our taters. So this is kind of from the Bavarian area of Germany. And apparently they use vinegar-based potato salad. It's a little tangier, a little sweeter. And then you've got the, the other version there is more mayo-based. So, which is my favorite, but we're trying to be as traditional as we can. You know, we're putting our twist on it, but trying to stick with tradition somewhat. Return to tradition. Return to tradition. That's kind of hard to say. Return to tradition. Okay, bacon is cooked, so we're gonna pull that off. Shut off the heat. Get that out of our way. Let that cool off just a little bit. If you think your bowl is big enough, you're wrong. Get a bigger one. So, we're gonna go ahead and dump the potatoes into this bigger bowl so I have room to mix it properly. And then we'll just serve it in that beautiful piece of pottery. So, anyway, I want to go ahead and we're gonna add in our green onions and parsley and our celery leaves. We're just gonna dump that right on in with the potatoes. So now, we're gonna make a dressing to make the potato salad. This is what's gonna bring it all together, with our smoky potatoes and our fresh herbs and our tangy vinegar. This is going to bring it together. All right, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of sea salt. Do about the same of black pepper. And we have some dry dill weed. Old dill weed. To do 1.5 teaspoons of that. We've got half a cup of chicken broth. And we're going to put in a tablespoon of maple syrup. We're going to add in our celery. Freaking juice groove. And our pickled red onions. Stir that around. Now we're just going to go ahead and pour all this right on in to our potatoes. And then we're going to toss it up. So if you cooked your potatoes a little long, you want to definitely, stir them gently. We don't want them to turn into mashed potato salad. You still want to know you're eating a chunk of potatoes. So just try to fold in all of the ingredients and do it as minimally as possible. So our chicken has hit the correct temperature. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it off. Let all these juices drain out of the cavity, and then I'm going to let this bird rest on the cutting board for probably 15 to 20 minutes. And while that's happening, we're going to take all these pan drippings and we're going to make a gravy. All right, so we'll go ahead and take our same pan that we cooked our bacon in, like medium, just a little under medium heat. And then I want to take all these nice pan drippings and a little bit of the herbs that came off, and I want to scrape them out into the skillet. And we've got some chicken broth in here. Just kind of deglaze that baking sheet a little bit. Some nice flavors in there. Let's turn that off. Don't need to waste any more pellets. Just get what we can off of there. Go ahead and dump that in. So we've got some butter in there, some chicken fat, and the broth, the drippings from the chicken. So go ahead and bring that up to a simmer. And then we're gonna mix in some flour and make a bit of a roux. And then we'll add in some chicken stock. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. All right, while we're simmering that up, while we're simmering that for a minute, what I want to do is I want to take these leftover leeks and I want to save all the flavor from those as well, because it's amazing. It's been cooking in that rendered out chicken fat and everything. So freaking good. What I'll probably do is the top layer, it's a little overcooked, a little leathery. I'll just pull it off, and the rest of them I'm just going to chop up real fine. All right, I'm going to go ahead and scrape those leeks off in there. We're just going to let those kind of cook down into the fat, the butter that's left in here. So a lot of the broth is cooked off. And I forgot to mention too, when we put that in there, I end up adding about half a cup of chicken broth to the bottom of that pan, the roasting pan that we had. That's looking pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle in this 1/4 cup of flour. I'm going to mix that all in, and we're going to make a roux with it. And we're just going to cook it for a few minutes to get rid of that raw flour flavor. Go ahead and add in a couple cups of chicken broth. Get 1 cup in there right now and turn the heat back up. Mash this flour and dripping mixture, roux. Get it to incorporate into the broth. And I scrape everything up off the bottom. Okay, so we'll go ahead and add in 1 more cup. So that's about 2 cups of chicken broth. All right, got it back up to simmer, so I'm gonna lower the heat down now. And we're just gonna stir it to thicken it up. It's already thickening, so we're on the right track. Go ahead and taste a little bit. Pretty tasty. Use a little more salt and pepper. So let's put a healthy pinch in there. Same with the pepper. Let that cook down a little bit and we'll taste it again once it thickens up a little more. That's thickening up pretty nice. Whoop. So I'm starting to coat the back of the spoon. Run your finger through it. Leaves a pretty good trail. So I think it'll thicken up even more once it cools off. So go ahead and kill the heat. And we'll set that aside to cool off. All right, let's cut this chicken up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just break this chicken down into its main cuts. So we'll have the breast, the thigh, the leg, the wings, and that's it. And then we'll cut the breast up into slices. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take off the leg and the thigh section. So we're going to come in right here. Ooh, look how juicy. So there's a natural seam right between the breast and where the thigh meat is. So we're just going to come right in there, right between. I'm going to turn it so I can work on it a little easier. It's a little hot. But there's a joint down inside there. So you just want to kind of pull it apart and feel it with your knife. Right there. So you pull it, it kind of pops apart. Now you can get your blade. Let me turn it this way. It's a little cooler this way. All right, so you can get your blade in there now and separate that thigh. Good Lord. Separate that thigh out. All right, let's do the other side. All right, so once again, we'll cut the skin between the two. Separate it out. I'm gonna grab the body and just kind of push that thigh down. And right there is the joint. So just work your knife into the joint itself and cut through the cartilage, leaving the bones intact. And then there you have a thigh and a leg section. So then what we can do is we can just cut down between the two. Same thing, there's another joint right in here. So open it up, work your blade in there, and cut right through the cartilage. There you have the drumstick. And here is the thigh. Then we're going to get the wings. And same deal. There's a joint in here. So just find that joint and just cut right through it. There's your wing. Another wing. And now the last part is the breast. So there's a piece of cartilage in here. It's like a breastbone. Runs right between this breast and this breast. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut down along each side of it. Just like that. So that right there is mostly just cartilage and bone. So now we'll just kind of take our thumb and open that up. And we'll just cut down as we open it and just trace along the rib bones and around the wishbone to get to the bottom. And there you go. There's a whole breast right there, no bones in it. All right, there we go. And this is gonna make some mean chicken stock. So now we're gonna cut up the breasts. So we're just gonna start cutting them into little slices. Try to keep the skin with each slice. And about a 1/4 inch thick or so. So there you have it. Not the neatest. A little juicy, a little messy. That's fine. That means it's gonna be good. So, there's your cuts. And that's how you cut them. All right, let's go ahead and plate some up. Well, let's get some. Whew, look at that. Let's get some breast meat. That. Why don't we just go ahead and have a drumstick too? And maybe a wing. I'll do a little gravy. Oh yeah. Some nice German potato salad. Oh yeah. That's the stuff right there. That's a freaking meal. Take a look at that. Even put it on our special little German tray. See that? Oh yeah. Let's see how she turned out. Yeah, let's do some chicken leg. Oh yeah, that's great. Try some breast. Yeah. So it paid off working all that butter and the lemon zest, garlic, and the herbs up under that skin on the breast, and it trapped all that in there. And like the breast has amazing flavor now. It's kind of lemony and herby, super good. And the potato salad. Oh yeah, that's good. So I can taste the dill in there and all the fresh herbs and green onions. There's a nice tang from the cider vinegar and the pickled red onions that we put in it. And you know, you got that grilled flavor too that we put on it from the from finishing the potatoes on the fire. So that is a tremendous meal, and it's pretty good. The gravy turned out great too. I don't even know if we needed the gravy, but we had all those pan drippings. I'm like, well, why not just make something? So this is awesome. If you're gonna be celebrating Oktoberfest and you're gonna have some beer and you want some food to go with it, this is a great option. Traditional Bavarian style roasted chicken, kind of traditional. Our own spin on it, smoked a little bit. The grilled German style potato salad, spot on. So give it a try. I'll link up the recipes in the description, or you can go to oakenblade.com. Try them out, let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the email list on my website, and we'll send you notifications whenever we come up with some new tasty tidbits like this. Freaking awesome meal, just so good. It's worth the effort. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time.